You're listening to Thrive Talking, the Making Men Great Again podcast. The podcast that is dedicated to providing men with the motivation, content and community to truly thrive and achieve greatness. Are you ready to become the man you were born to be? Are you ready to thrive? Take massive action, fulfill your potential and reclaim what is rightfully yours. Join the brotherhood and become brethren today. Welcome back for another episode. I'm your host Tommy, and I'm joined as always by my close friend and brother and of course co-host Sam. Good evening, Sam. How are you doing today, pal?
Good evening, my friend. We are very well. And I just had to have a little moment there because your introduction was that good. I had to have a little chuckle to myself. And I enjoy it every week. The intros are getting better and better, but also I can see you. We can see each other as we're doing this. And the facial expressions are unbelievable.
It's
brilliant.
very much a work in progress, but I thought I'd add a little bit of spice and a few extra seasonings there tonight.
There's certainly some pepper in there, mate. Feel it.
How we doing? Is everything good?
Yeah, you know what? A little bit of a snotty nose again, but we won't go into too much detail about that. So I might sound a bit more nasally than I normally do, but we'll get through it.
Yeah,
not to worry.
We'll hopefully address that, and we'll help you identify the root cause of these problems and get you back on track, my friend.
I already know the cause, mate, but we'll get into that.
So you've already answered the question in part, Sam, but are you thriving?
Yes and no. It's always a yes and no these days, isn't it? It's never fully yes. Like I said, we preach about all this, what to eat, what to do, and then sometimes it just doesn't work. And get a little bit sniffly, but yeah. Other than that, I am thriving. So you know, it's not a full no. It's a part yes. It's a part no. Yeah. How about you, mate? Are you thriving?
You better believe I am, brother. So yeah, I am thriving, Sam. But like yourself, today, you know, it's been a busy week. We're recording the episode on a Friday. This time around, just with the way things have fallen with our schedules. I've been feeling the heat a little bit today. I've been feeling a little bit tired, a little bit lethargic. A couple of later nights than usual. With early get-ups for work and for childcare, and it's just been really, really damn busy. As you're well aware, obviously it's been quite hot this week, which always sort of saps the energy out of you. But listen, I've knuckled down. And I've pushed through it. I keep grinding. I dropped and did the press ups earlier. You know, I've been putting the work in. I've been having the cold showers. I've been keeping the nutrition on point, and that's how we bounce back, and that's how we push through. You know, when we're met with adversity or with difficulties, or we're not quite feeling right, we've got to keep pushing.
Yeah, it is, and you know, we're just not used to the heat over here, are we? In England, in general. It's all well and good when you go abroad and you get in that sun and you can dip in and out of the swimming pool, but it's just so different when you're going through a working week and it's 28, 29, 30 degrees. It's just unbearable, isn't it? At times.
Yeah, you've got to do your best to stay hydrated and keep yourself cool and like I said, just get that nutrition right and get your sleep. Get your room nice and cool, as we've mentioned previously, to get a good night's sleep. Yeah. But it's tough. It's not easy.
No, it's not. But we carry on.
It seems that everything in this country comes to a standstill when it's either too hot or too cold. Like we're not equipped to deal with it.
Can we? We're just a bit of a pathetic island currently. Yeah. But, you know, you don't expect these really hot summers, do we? Anyway, we shan't talk about weather. Flipping out, we're sounding too British now.
We certainly are.
Jesus.
And the millions in Mongolia, they can't relate to that.
They've no idea, have they, what it's like?
So, what have we been up to, Sam? Anything you want to bring us up to speed on?
There's always things going on, my friend. As you know, and I've spoke about over the past month, I've been training for a triathlon. That triathlon has now been complete. It was over the weekend in Hamburg in Germany. Beautiful. It was quite a big event, to be honest. It was part amateur, part professional, so all the elites were there. which really does put it in perspective for an amateur like me when the elite competitors are doing the triathlon in like half the time, and you just think, flipping heck, that's some going. So that was a good time, a good weekend overall, really, mate. To be honest, definitely did a lot of the pillars what we spoke about in these podcasts, connecting with my friends because I went over with two mates. The play, obviously, doing the triathlon, and challenging myself. The biggest thing there was the challenge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was just doing it, getting over to a different country, doing it. And it was tricky in a way because obviously it's a different language, and all the instructions were in German. So you can kind of imagine when they're telling you where to run and where to bike, they're telling you in German. So you just stood there and nod, and when you actually get on the bike, you're like, oh shit, where do I actually go now? But we get over these things easily. And then back to work, unfortunately.
Likes and links, left and right in German.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, not too dissimilar.
No. Yeah. But there you go, mate. That's been it. What about you?
Well, before we come on to what I've been up to, I just wanted to sort of come on to what you've just said there. That we're very proud of your achievements. On behalf of the podcast, going over there and getting the triathlon done that you've been training so hard for in recent weeks and months. And yeah, we're very proud of you and two of the brethren. Two of the guys who are part of the brotherhood here, Thrive Talking, Oliver and Benjamin. So I thought I'd give them a shout out as well because I know that
they're going to love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you what was good, mate. When you're over in a different country, and obviously there was thousands of people doing this triathlon. I'd say like 99% were Germans, obviously. But seeing, because when you go over the finish line, your name, nationality, and your time appears above you, and it just seeing the Union Jack with my name next to it amongst all the German flags, it was a bit of a good moment, mate. It was a bit of a good moment. I felt very proud to be English at that time, because we all know what happened in the 40s, don't we? So
I hope you put a couple of steins of premium beer away and belted out Rule Britannia.
Yes to the steins. There wasn't any singing though. I don't want to get beat up.
No, joking aside. Talk to us a little bit about that challenge, Sam. Was it mental, physical? Was it a bit of both? How did you get on with each sort of part of the triathlon, the swimming, cycling, running? Just give us a whistle-stop tour of the triathlon and tell us how you felt and how you pushed through it.
Yeah, I mean, I have done one before, so this was, I kind of knew what to expect this time, other than being in a different place and the different terrain. But you start off in the swim, and in Hamburg you're sort of swimming in the river in the middle of the city, and to be honest, the water's absolutely disgusting. So you can't see it; it's completely brown. But anyway, you start with a swim because it's usually the hardest part for most people. The water's cold, whatever. But you just push through it. Once you get out that water, you're running straight over to your bike, getting yourself set up, trying to get yourself dry as quick as possible, get all your gear on, and then you're on the bike then, up and down almost. I think it was their equivalent of an air road kind of thing, what we'd have over here.
Not the Reeperbahn.
No, not the Reeperbahn, mate. We know what goes on there, don't we?
It's a city,
but yeah,
Sin City.
It literally is. We did go there though, anyway. So yeah, obviously get on the bike, do all the miles there, then you get off, get all your stuff off again, and off you go on a run. The run's probably the best part, to be honest. It's the most scenic part, I'd say. You're running round, running up and down the river, round through different parts of the city you'd probably never see as a normal tourist.
Did you not pass by Stad Park?
No, nowhere near. No, I know why you're saying that.
Yeah, that could be incorporated as well, couldn't it? It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, but that's a bit further out.
Just for someone like me who doesn't really know a great deal about triathlons, what distances are we talking on each of these events, if you like.
Well, there's two distances with triathlons: a sprint and standard.
Or for this,
Um,
for the one you completed in Hamburg.
so I did the sprint this time, which varies from country to country or organisation to organisation. I've noticed.
Mm.
Like for example, the first triathlon I did, that was 1,000 metre swim. This one was 750 metres swim, and then it's 20 kilometres on the bike. Whereas the one before was 25, and then it was a 5k run at the end of that. Now the standard is just basically double all that.
All right.
So 1,500 metres, 40k bike, and 10k run.
No,
So
we go on, mate.
no, I'm just saying it. But either way, it's difficult. Both disciplines.
Mm.
Sorry, both styles. But yeah, it's good.
Excellent, mate. No, like I say, once again, we're proud of your achievements. And sort of speaking of Hamburg, we was having a bit of a laugh before we went on air, didn't we? Because for the brethren listening in, Sam and I went to Hamburg several years ago now together, watching the Rolling Stones. And speaking
Yes,
of the river that he the river that he swam in for the triathlon, we actually watched a guy fishing with a magnet for quite a period of time there, and some of the things that he was pulling out was it was disturbing, actually.
It was unbelievable, wasn't it? And I had to swim in that water
Yeah.
with all this crap that he's pulling out, and you wonder why I get ill.
Now there are two things that I just wanted to address quickly, Sam. Two rumours that I was hoping you could shed some light on.
Oh, heck.
Now, the first rumour was that it came to my attention by one of your comrades who was out there with you, that you very nearly pulled out of the triathlon because you was feeling a little bit tired.
That's not even a rumour, because that's a complete lie.
Right.
They were just winding you up. It's it's because we got there so late on the night before. And I must have had about 3 hours sleep. Then I was up and straight doing the triathlon. So I might have complained about being tired, but there was absolutely nothing stopping me doing that triathlon.
Well, we all know you love a good whinge.
Oh, I do.
So,
I do.
no,
So
no,
that's sorted that one.
I did sort of get the impression straight away that it was a wind up, but as I said to you at the time, it is a very familiar a very familiar excuse, being tired. No joke, like I said, we're only joking. But and then the second rumour that I've heard about, which I was quite shocked with actually, was that you ate a kilo of currywurst after the triathlon.
Hey, that's a pretty good rumour. To be honest, it's not true, but I did enjoy a couple of currywurst. Not quite a kilo, but God, I do like German sausage.
You always feel better with a warm sausage in you, don't you?
Oh, absolutely, mate. Yeah.
So, what sort of weight can we attribute to the currywurst that was consumed?
Oh, what sort of weight? I don't know. It was probably half a kilo, to be honest.
500
It was a
grams.
good. It was a good helping, yeah. A very good helping. Plenty sauce, you know what I mean. A few crispy onions on top. We both know it's an enjoyable experience, isn't it?
No comment, Your Honour.
Anyway, chat,
Yeah.
go on.
No, it's good. Thanks for sharing. And to the brethren listening in who share my concerns, don't worry. I kept Sam honest. I sent him a couple of messages railroading him, and said that if he doesn't participate in the triathlon and smash it, then he's not only letting himself down, he's letting me and the Brotherhood of Man down. But
Absolutely.
fortunately that wasn't the case, and it was never in doubt really. It was just a joke, and Sam's done us all proud. So great stuff.
Thanks, mate. So, what have you been up to, my friend? Anything good?
It's just been business as usual for me, to be honest, Sam. This week, nothing exciting. Just work, just family. The usual home life, time with family. Couple of projects ongoing at home. It's been busy, but business as usual. Like I said, nothing to report. So
That's
yeah,
good.
but
It doesn't have to be at a wild time every week, does it? Just normal life is enough sometimes.
What I will say is the nutrition's been on point this week, and I've shared that with a couple of the listeners and yourself, and I've been feeling really good about it. Monday, Tuesday, with what I'd consider almost perfect days, and again, this is something that we're gonna really go into a lot of detail on a future episode, and hopefully there's a lot of interest there with the people listening in. But came off the back of 16-17 hour fasts on both Monday and Tuesday. 4 eggs cooked in butter, bone broth.
Oh yes.
Half a litre of raw milk from a local farm, tablespoon of raw honey from a local farm, a couple of pieces of fruit, and then second meal of the day around 5:30. Big prime cut of ribeye steak, a couple of sweet potatoes, homemade guacamole, which I'm a huge fan of, and we can speak about that at a later date. And then again another 500 millilitres of raw milk. I think I said 500 litres earlier. That'd be ludicrous, obviously, but so a litre a day. And that was Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday was the 24-hour fast. And I'll tell you, just off the back of that, feeling absolutely incredible, physically, mentally. So yeah, it's been a good week, Sam.
Good. Sounds and I'm very delighted to hear that you're getting a lot of your produce from the farm as well. We definitely need more of that, don't we? Like round the country, if you can, if it's accessible to you, makes a difference.
It's something, there are obviously financial constraints, but where possible, we do try and support the local farms and the local business, particularly up here in Northumberland, where we're literally surrounded by farms. It's a huge part of the community up here and in what the county does as a whole. So it's good to try and support that as much as possible.
Yeah, it's good. I like that. I try to do it myself. I'm on the road a lot with my job, and I do pass a lot of farms, and I will nip in wherever I can. It's mainly to get the eggs, to be honest, because if I'm hours away from home, I can't just go and get some milk because it's going to go warm, especially around this time.
Yeah.
Can't keep the milk warm, but mainly the eggs, and there's just that satisfaction, isn't there, about getting the eggs straight from that source, almost straight from the chicken coop, pretty much. It's just good. But yeah, brilliant. Anyway, so moving on, Tommy. First business of the week this week, the Brethren Bulletin.
Oh, we love the bulletin.
What have we got going on?
So for the Brethren Bulletin this week, and try and not go on too long, Sam, because we've got a bit to get through before we actually get into the meat and gravy, as we say, of today's episode. But feedback from listeners, a number of the brethren have been in touch this week. We've had some excellent feedback. We've had some more reviews left on the Spotify page, some more likes and listeners on YouTube. One thing that I will point out, and I should apologise as well to the brethren out there, because we was a little bit late getting the last episode uploaded. It was recorded actually earlier than it usually would be, but just with the nature of Sam and I's schedules, Sam obviously travelling out to Hamburg for the triathlon, me having a pretty hectic week as well. We just didn't get round to getting it uploaded on the usual date. But what was quite encouraging off the back of that is I had at least 7 messages from 7 different people asking me when's the podcast out, because they was expecting it to drop on Sunday, as it usually does, which was really encouraging to me, more than anything. Obviously I was disappointed that we didn't get it out on time, but I was really encouraged by the fact that people are actually engaged and they're excited for the next episode, and they look forward to it dropping so they can listen in and get the fix. So I thought that was great, Sam.
Yeah, it is good to know that at least a few people are getting something out of this. Mm-hmm. And it starts with a few, and then the next minute it goes to the millions. So that's good.
As we said, Rome wasn't built in a day, and we're still very early doors in the Making Men Great Again movement, but the numbers that are tuning in are already very encouraging, and the support that we're receiving is is likewise. So thank you to everyone who's listening in. And then in terms of sort of specific feedback, Sam, I had some really good stuff. So we came off the back of the play episode where we discussed play, and I had some really good stuff come through. I had one message saying that they love the podcast as always, and that play is very important to them. This actually came in from our good friend Vance, and he said that how he plays is he races remote control cars, which was something I was already aware of. But what a great example of play. And he says it's something that he looks forward to each week, because, you know, he can fall into that sort of monotonous, repetitive life day in, day out, like the nonsense. So going racing remote control cars gives him something to focus on, something to enjoy, to have a good time. So that was a great message. I also had a message back from Dean, who I actually give a anonymous shout out last week when I spoke about training with my brother and him in his garage, and how that was a really good example of play for me, because we used to have such a great time. And he said he agrees, you know, great example of it, just messing around in the garage, lots of banter, great for the mental well-being, gets you away from the corporate measured version of yourself, where you sort of, I think you touched on this as well, Sam, where you're not being yourself really, you're being someone else, you're impersonating someone else for business purposes. So he said, you know, you're getting away from that, you're being the real you with your friends, you're having a good time, and the added benefit is you're also getting that physical workout in as well. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, a couple of good examples of stuff that's been coming across the desk. Sam, what about yourself?
Yeah, I've had a few things across the old inbox this week. Well, specifically about the play, and everyone's enjoying the whinge of the week, of course, because it's hilarious. But yeah, specifically about the play, one of my friends has mentioned about how it makes them think about the childhood specifically, and how he sort of doesn't want to see himself. How did he put it? I should read it really, shouldn't I, from my phone? Yeah, it was like we shouldn't be embarrassed about doing these like having fun, childish games, and he's going to spend more time with his kids doing these sort of childish. I use childish in inverted commas, these childish games, and not be embarrassed. Like I said, don't think too much about what other people said, and just get on with it. You know what I mean? There was a few messages like that.
That's encouraging to hear, and you've just reminded me of another one that came my way, Sam, which I thought was quite funny. You know, and it's all in good humour, obviously. It was regarding the whinge of the week. Someone, I'll not name names, but someone was in touch saying that they really enjoyed the play episode, and they enjoyed the whinge of the week as well, more so than the previous episode, because when they were listening to the previous episode they were actually vaping. And it made them feel a little bit uncomfortable.
I'm glad.
So, you know, this was a group chat, and, you know, both of the other participants of the group chat both vape, and we've had a bit of banter back and forth there, but yeah, I said, Luke, you know, sorry about that, but we're not really sorry. We are going after the vape industry, as we've said before, and we're saying this out of a position of love and care, really, for our fellow men. It's not because we want to make people feel crap about themselves or make them feel uncomfortable. It's because we want men to do better in each and every way, and, you know, we feel very strongly about vaping, so that's the reason we're pointing it out.
It's not like we've got a rival company trying to get rid of vapes, you know what I mean? We're just trying to stop people putting that poison down into the lungs. So, you know, don't think like that.
But it was all light-hearted. There was a bit of banter there as well, and I did say I've got to question your ability to thrive when your lungs have turned to popcorn and your testicles have shriveled to raisins. So, but no, it's all in good spirits, Sam. And we had a good laugh back and forth. And, some positive news. I think people are thinking about it, and both people have said that they do want to sort of give it up if possible. It's a challenge for them. But there's that self-awareness now, and I think we're heading in the right direction, Sam. I think we're breaking through.
Good. I'm glad to hear. If we can get one person off the vapes, then we can start the movement.
And that leads us nicely in to Sam's Whinge of the Week. What are you whinging about this time, brother?
Hopefully it'll be a short one, this, but you never know how it's going to turn out.
Go on.
This is very specific to what I've just been doing over the past weekend. Like I said, I went away to Germany, and it's one of them. Those people who are listening who've been on an aeroplane, you'll know what I'm talking about now. Why do people stand in line at the gate to get on an aeroplane when the plane's not boarding? You know what I'm saying, Tommy?
I do.
Do you know exactly what I mean? People will queue for miles down the fucking Sorry, excuse my French. They'll queue for miles in the airport when the gate's not actually open, and they'll just stand there like morons because everyone else is stood in the queue, so they think, oh, I better get in the queue else I won't get on the plane. Now, we all know that plane is not leaving until everyone's on it who's checked in. So what are you standing in the queue for? Why are you standing in the queue? It's because it's so recent, because I was only on a plane over the weekend, and I'm just thinking there was about 300 people just stood in the queue, and the gate door wasn't even open, and I just feel like going over and saying, "What are you doing?" Like, do you know what I mean? You wouldn't do that anywhere else in the world, would you? And the other thing is, but why I'm on it, because I've got going now, Tommy, and I can't stop.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Also, when you're on the plane and the plane lands, why does everyone just suddenly jump out the seat?
Do you
know what I mean? You know what I'm saying here, don't you? Like,
it infuriates me.
What is the doors are literally not open. Sometimes the plane's not even stopped, and everyone jumps out the seat like there's a flipping fire. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on?
Don't take your seatbelt off until the pilot turns the seatbelt sign off. But you hear everyone's belt popping anyway, and they start standing up, getting their bags out. I'd line them all up and shoot them, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do that, but I think, like, how important is it for you to get that bag out of the overhead locker that you need to stand up before everyone else has done? And then it's like one person stands up and everyone just follows then, don't they? I'm like, so where are you planning on going, guys? Because the door's shut and you can't get through the window. So, you know what I mean? People just sit down and wait. There's no rush.
What that reminds me of a little bit in both of what you've just said there, Sam, about people, and what I'm going to say now, it feeds in nicely to this week's episode, I believe, and what we're going to be speaking about shortly. But when you get some absolute clown driving like a lunatic, like they're at Silverstone, overtaking people, weaving in and out of traffic, and then you pull up next to them at the traffic lights 5 minutes later.
Oh, like, we've all been there.
What have you achieved?
Yeah, nothing. I know. And you look at them and they're just like really upset or angry about something. Yeah, we've all been there. But yeah, that's my whinge of the week this week, Tommy.
Thank you for sharing, my friend.
No problem.
We always enjoy a good whinge. Just taking a break from the episode for a moment there, as we are proud to announce that once again, this episode is brought to you by our brothers at Honourbound. Honourbound is a brand new clothing brand, homegrown in Lancashire, England, which combines style, elegance and patriotism beautifully to offer a range of high-quality garments and designs that celebrate Britain's strength, class and might. As I record this advert, I'm sat wearing my Honourbound Writer t-shirt in the sporting green, and it's absolutely beautiful. If you haven't checked them out already, head to Honourbound, so that's Honour-Bound, or follow the link in the bio to redeem your exclusive 15% discount. And that's for the brethren, that's for the listeners of Thrive Talking Podcast. with a further 5% being donated to charities supporting UK military veterans. How great is that? Thrive Talking, Making Men Great Again podcast is all about supporting like-minded men on our journey together towards achieving greatness. So support the podcast today by treating yourself to some honour-bound merchandise. You will not regret it. Thank you.
So yeah, let's move on from the whinging into the bones of what we're going to talk about this week. And this week's subject is Contemplate. So another of the Thrive in 5 pillars, and it is actually the 5th of the Thrive in 5. Thrive in 5. It's a difficult word to say, that, isn't it?
Robert California.
Good old Office reference there. Well done. But yeah, this is the final of the 5, and it's Contemplate. So Tommy, this is
final piece of the puzzle, Sam.
Final piece of the puzzle, mate. Final piece. And I think this is something that you're a bit more clued up on than me. So I'm gonna hear you out, mate, and see what you're gonna say. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, thanks, Sam. I've been really looking forward to this one for quite some time now, since we sort of put the schedule together for the for the podcast when we was going to record the episodes and in what order. I have been really looking forward to this. So, Contemplate, what does that incorporate? And again, it includes so much, like the other pillars. But for me, in my mind, and why it was important that we included this, and why it was one of the fundamental components to achieving greatness and for men to thrive, is contemplate. It's that quiet time. It's that time where you slow down, no distractions, you're not in a rush, you've not got any stress, things hanging over you that you need to complete. You can slow down, think deeply, think consciously. You can problem solve, be alone with your thoughts, meditate, pray. And for those who've been keeping up with the podcast and have listened to what we've told you about all the other pillars, to think consciously. So, in a nutshell, that's what it is, and obviously we'll go into a little bit more detail. But have you any thoughts just off the back of that, Sam? Does that sort of resonate with you?
It definitely does, because I think we've already spoke about how people in 2025 are just in a rush constantly, aren't they? Everyone seems to be getting from A to B as quick as possible in the most efficient way, and nobody stops and thinks anymore what they're doing. They're not even taking in the surroundings. They've got the phone in the hand. They're looking down at the phone, and they're just not looking up at the world anymore. So I hear you on that. Yeah, it's brilliant, and it's again with all these pillars. It's just we're just preaching common sense again, aren't we?
It's not rocket science, Sam.
It's not rocket science. We're telling people to stop and just have a moment, meditate, whatever it might be, and you'll surely reap the benefits. Definitely.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Sam. And as we have done in previous episodes that have covered some of the other pillars, I just thought it'd be good to share some of the definitions for contemplate. So the Cambridge Dictionary defines contemplate as to spend time considering a possible future action, or to consider a particular thing for a long time in a serious and quiet way. And I think that sums it up beautifully. For me, not enough people take that time to slow down and to think and to ponder. In today's age, everyone's in an absolute mad rush, as we've already alluded to. Spoke about people queuing up to get on a plane that's not going anywhere. They're jumping up to get off a plane even though they can't go anywhere. They're racing around in the car. But what are they actually doing? Why is everyone in such a rush?
Yeah.
In most of it, I think I can't remember what it was on another podcast I listened to, Sam, but someone else said, like, what is everyone in such a rush for? So they can spend an extra 5 minutes on the couch watching Netflix and achieving nothing.
Yeah. It's true that, isn't it? Like, rush hour traffic is a thing, obviously. Everyone's just trying to get home at the same time, around 5, 6, whatever it is, o'clock at night. And you just made the best point there. You're just rushing home to go and sit on your sofa. To do what? You know what I mean? To rot and not give your life any meaning or have any longevity. But yeah.
No. So contemplate, like I say, it incorporates so much. It is just slowing down. It's sitting, thinking without distractions. It can be meditation for those of us who are spiritual, or we have faith. It can be prayer. But I can provide some examples, Sam, of what contemplate means to me in my life and how I implement it.
Please do.
So that does come for me in the form of prayer. Quite often, I like to start each morning just with 5 minutes. It's all it takes, and I practice gratitude, and I give my thanks, and I think about what I want to achieve for the day, and any challenges that are ahead of me, and I just think about those. I contemplate them. I offer them to my Lord and Saviour in prayer. Another way for me is just, and something that's really important to this podcast is health and fitness. So when people hear this initially, they'll think that it's sort of contradictory, but I'm happy to share in more detail, Sam, and ask questions if you feel it necessary. But an important way that I contemplate is through pipe smoking. So it's quite an old-fashioned hobby. You don't come across it too often in today's society, but it just goes hand in hand with slowing down, with thinking deeply, with contemplating. It forces you to slow down and to think and not to have any other distractions, because you can't do it otherwise. Yeah. And it's it's how I relax, and it's how I sort of sit still and think. And as the great Sherlock Holmes said on many occasions when he was posed with a particular problem, he would say that this is a 2-pipe problem. And what he meant by that was he's going to have to sit down and smoke 2 pipes worth to solve the problem, to think about it deeply. Yeah. Which I thought was very clever when I heard that on another podcast. And it is just sitting down, meditating, practicing mindfulness. I like to do a little bit of breath work before bed as well, and just have that quiet time in the dark. Again, no distractions, and think about the day that's just passed. What's been achieved, what's gone well, what's not gone well. And one of the great Stoic philosophers said, don't quote me on this, it may have been Marcus Aurelius, but he said, you should go to bed each day at the end of the day, and you should be able to think and be satisfied that if it was your last, if you didn't wake up in the morning, then you'd be satisfied that was your last day and what you'd achieved, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It certainly does.
Now, and we've spoke about this in detail on other episodes, Sam, but those men out there who are stuck in a rut, they're in a life of mediocrity, mundane, they're going through the motions, they're on autopilot. If they lie in bed at night at the end of a day and they really think deeply and think, if I don't wake up in the morning, if today was my last day on earth, if I die now, will I be satisfied with what I've done with my life? Will I be satisfied with what I've done today? And what do you think their answer would be, Sam?
Probably not, because what if they, like you said, if they really thought about it. But again, it depends on how highly they think of themselves. They probably think they're doing the world a favour by whatever job they're doing, or putting money into pubs and drinking themselves silly. But really, it's not.
This is exactly why we need to change the way that men are thinking, and get men actually thinking consciously and deeply. And I think it highlights the whole reason why we're doing this podcast, Sam, with what you've just said. Because even I, who has that, I have that self-awareness, and so do you. It's the reason why we're here and we're doing this. Even I lie in bed at night sometimes, and I'm not satisfied with what I've done.
Well, exactly.
So if we're being honest, But I thought that was great. I thought that was a really important thing to ponder, and hopefully it'll get a couple of the brethren. It'll resonate with them, and it'll get them thinking.
Yeah, I think when I think of contemplate, the main thing for me would be meditation, definitely, because I spoke about this in the recovery episode. It feels like a lifetime ago now, but it was only like 5 episodes ago. Yeah. And that was one of the main recovery tools that I thought was key to thriving and recovering. And it is literally meditation comes in many forms, as you know.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things you can do, which I didn't really know until I properly looked into it. Because my versions of meditate, well, what I do is just a guided meditation via an app on my phone, which I've mentioned previously, which is brilliant for a novice, a beginner, because all you have to do is listen to what they're saying, and it involves that breath work. Definitely for before sleep, it's perfect for that. The stress of the day, whatever you've done in the day, you can just relax your mind, you can calm your body, and but again, the whole thing with meditation is to sort of empty your mind instead of thinking. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a bit hypocritical in it in that way.
I don't think so, Sam. I think there's a lot of things that come under contemplate, and I think meditation, it does clear your mind, but it's clearing it of the rubbish. You're decluttering, so there's space for the thoughts that are actually important. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, there is true. And I guess some different, like if you do mindfulness meditation, that is sort of, being present in the moment that you're in, and like observing the thoughts and the sensations that come to mind straight away. And you don't have to sort of remove them from your brain straight away, like you would with probably a sleep meditation, where you're trying to remove negative thoughts, you're trying to remove thoughts of the day. Mindfulness meditation is more being aware of what has happened in the day.
Precisely.
So it is contemplating very much in that way,
Absolutely.
which I'm a big fan of as well. I think it's brilliant.
So we've both sort of touched on on what contemplate is to us and how we implement it in our lives, Sam. But I just thought it'd be good to sort of highlight why we think it's so important, and we already have to a certain degree. But for me, it's arguably the most important of all the pillars, because by contemplate, you're actually you're thinking about everything else that we spoke about. You're thinking about how you're going to implement each of the other pillars.
Yeah.
You're allowing yourself that time to slow down, to think, to plan, to problem solve, to reflect, to measure success, to identify issues and actions that are needed to fix them. That is all contemplate, and so that's why it's so important to me. And we just spoke about meditation and decluttering, getting all the nonsense out your brain, all the noise, all the interference, whether that's from your working days, television, phone calls. Just get rid of all the nonsense, all the stresses, all the anxiety. Get it all out of your mind, so you actually have the ability to think and you have mental clarity. And it's important to think ahead and contemplate in that way, but it's also important to reflect and think back. And you've got to get that balance. You've got to get that balance absolutely right. But in terms of the actual benefits of doing this, it's proven that slowing down and taking the time to think, it helps you make better decisions. It helps you connect deeper with people, which links in, as we say, Sam. It always links in with the other pillars. It helps you connect on a deeper and meaningful level with others. It helps you have more meaningful experiences. We spoke about that at the beginning of this episode, about being in the present, in the moment, having an appreciation for that, having an awareness, and it also improves your mental well-being as well. So I can't stress enough how important it is to implement contemplate in your lives. And we've always said, Sam, that we've got those 5 pillars. So we've got fuel and recovery. We've got connect, fuel and recovery, challenge, play, and we've got contemplate. But for each of those to work, you've got to first have the self-awareness. And what does contemplate encourage and improve?
Self-awareness.
Bingo. You got it.
Yeah.
Sam.
So basically, what you're kind of saying there is, contemplate has kind of almost 2 parts to it, doesn't it? You've got the contemplating where you literally stop in the world, in your own mind, and just being at one and thinking about everything. But then you've got the other part where you kind of, like you said, it links to the challenge, the connect, the play, where you kind of are making quick decisions. So you're going from a complete stop to making those quick decisions straight away. So it's basically just thinking, isn't it? Really, but sort of in a different sort of way, however you want to do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's one way of looking at it, Sam. And as we always say, like, how and why are men getting this wrong? And we've already spoken about this, so I'll not go into too much detail. But I think one of the major reasons why men are getting this wrong is because they sort of speak before they think, or they act before they think. They only think after the fact, when it's too late, so they don't actually slow down. And you've just mentioned like making sort of quick fire decisions, which we all have to do from time to time. And it can be important to do that as well, to be decisive. We're not saying that you shouldn't be, but there's some things that require a little bit more thought, and you need to slow down. You really need to think about them and think about them some more. And you compare that with your meditation. You can declutter your mind from all the nonsense, and you can really focus your thoughts on what you need to think about. So that's one of the reasons. And then some of the barriers to men getting this right, which follows on nicely from why men are getting it wrong, is everyone's in a rush, as we've already said.
Yeah.
No one actually. How many people do you know, Sam, that actually take the time just to slow down and actually think daily? I don't know. I don't know many people who sit still, and so most people who are sat in front of the telly, they're scrolling social media.
And you think though, when you're doing that, like we said, most people will rush home just to sit and do nothing. So there's a time where you should contemplate, but you don't, because your mind's always focused on something else, innit? Like your phone, and the phone's probably the big one for everyone. Let's be honest, or the TV. And it's wild, isn't it? Like, you've got two completely contradicting things there that are happening in quite quick succession. Can't say the word. Succession. Succession. We got there. But yeah.
Well, exactly, Sam. And what frightens me is I think most people think that's actually slowing down and relaxing to them is by sitting on the couch watching Netflix, scrolling on the phone. Listening to music, reading a book. Now, we're big fans of listening to music and reading.
Yeah.
And we're very big fans of them in the right context. But you've also got that. You've got to have that time where you literally sit and do nothing and think.
Yeah.
It's so important, and not enough people are doing it. You know, I'd love listen if you're listening to the brethren out there, to the millions in Mongolia and across the globe. Let us know. Do you actually slow down and think and do nothing else with no distractions? I'd be really curious to get some feedback on that and see what people are doing.
Yeah, do you know what comes to mind when I think about contemplate? Do you know, specifically in people's occupations, you think of some jobs, like, for example, a surgeon. Now, there's a job where you absolutely have to think deeply about what you're doing, because we're talking about life or death situations here. And it really goes for quite a lot of the emergency services when you think about it. Although you could say, for example, a paramedic is going to be making these quick, like, last-minute, life-changing decisions for these people who they're treating. But then you've got the other side where you've got a surgeon who's probably got a guy on his table performing heart surgery, and one wrong move and the guy's dead. I mean, I know I'm catastrophising the situation here, but you'd think them kind of people would be the best at contemplating, but you don't know, do you? They could be exactly the same as everyone else. They go home and they'll scroll on the phone and not really sit. But I don't. That just came to mind, and I don't know why, but I just thought I'd give that little nugget there.
It's a good point, Sam. Following on from what we've already spoken about, I'd just like to quickly mention some of the health benefits, as we always do, because, you know, one of the major sort of one of the main things about this podcast is health, is men's health and well-being. So health benefits of contemplation, of prayer, of meditation. It's proven to reduce stress and anxiety, improves your emotional regulation, provides a greater sense of well-being. It can lower blood pressure and heart rate because of that. It can improve sleep and immunity as well. You know, there's always sort of benefits to your physical and mental health with all of these things that we speak about, Sam. But yeah, it's been an interesting conversation so far about Contemplate.
The biggest thing that I'm going to take away from that is like reducing stress, because I think that is the thing that is so important, and it's the most important thing I'd say for all the pillars that we've gone through. Because you know what it's like. Reducing that stress is just going to make you a better person overall.
Absolutely.
Like you know, you're gonna calm your body, you're gonna calm your mind, and get rid of all them pressures of the day. Because at the end of the day, stress can kill. It literally can kill you. So the lower your stress, I think, the better. And meditation specifically is unbelievable for that. Specifically for the breath work. There's so much online about breath work. And the first thing you do when you sort of feel stressed, isn't it, is take a big breath in, isn't it, and just calm yourself down that way. And that's definitely a big part of Contemplate for me.
Yeah, no, it's a good point, Sam. So, sort of carrying on from that, there were a couple of things I just wanted to share, and one of them's actually a poem.
Oh right, okay, interesting.
So, and I hope this gets people thinking. Now, I should just put a disclaimer in here. I'm not encouraging anyone to smoke. Listen, do your own research about pipe smoking. Don't throw it. What I will say is, don't throw it in the same. Don't tar it with the same brush as cigarettes. And if anyone wants to speak to me in any more detail about this or ask any questions, then feel free to reach out. You know, we'll share the email in the different platforms that you can reach us on at the end of the podcast, as always. But I want to share this because it links in beautifully with contemplation, and I think it highlights a few of the points that we've raised about why people are getting it wrong and the barriers in modern society. So this poem was written by a fantastic man called Malcolm Guite. He's an Anglican priest. He's also an author, a musician, a poet, and he's just an all-round fantastic man. And he has his own YouTube channel, which I'd encourage you to have a look at, particularly if you're into poetry or Tolkien or C.S. Lewis, if you're a reader and you like their subject matter. But this poem's called "Smoke Rings from My Pipe," and just listen to this for a moment and consider what it's telling you. All the long day's weariness is done. I'm free at last to do just as I will. Take out my pipe, admire the setting sun. Practice the heart of simply sitting still. Thank God I have this briar bowl to fill. I leave the world with all its hopeless hype, its pressures, its ever-ringing till, and let it go in smoke rings from my pipe. The hustle and bustle, these I shun, the tasks that trouble and the cares that kill, the false idea that there's a race to run, the pushing of that weary stone uphill, the wretched iPhones, all insistent trill, whingers and whiners, each with their own gripe. I pack them in tobacco leaves until they're blown away in smoke rings from my pipe. And then at last my real work is begun, my chance to chant, to exercise the skill of summoning the muses one by one to meet me in their temple, touch my quill. I have a pen, but quills are better still, and when the soul is full, the time is ripe, kindle the fire of poetry that will breathe and expand like smoke rings from my pipe. Prints I have done with grinding at the mill, these petty pelting tyrants aren't my type, so lift me up and set me on a hill, a free man blowing smoke rings from his pipe.
Beautifully said, Tommy. Beautifully said. Enjoyed that. I think it's. I need you to read it again at some point so I can really take it apart. But I think that the message there is, like we've already said, smoking a pipe is quite a relaxing thing. Right?
Slow down.
And it makes you slow down and think the whole process of it.
So there's a few key takeaways from that poem for me. Is practice the art of simply sitting still.
Yeah.
The hustle and bustle, the tasks that trouble and the curs that kill. The false idea that there's a race to run. We spoke about everyone being in a rush. Everyone's running a race, but
Yeah.
there is no race. There's no need to be in a rush. And the wretched iPhones all insistent trill.
Well, that's definitely prominent, isn't it?
But yeah, I've heard that poem a great many a time, and I've read it several times as well, and it's always resonated really strongly with me. And it just came to my mind when we were sort of planning the episode and thinking about what we wanted to discuss for Contemplate and what it means. It just jumped out, and I thought, I would really love to share it with yourself and the wider audience. So hopefully, people enjoy it and people can take something from it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we're not encouraging pipe smoking, really, are we? But it can be almost a metaphor, can't it, in some ways, for
it can be.
slowing down and sort of enjoying the process of doing something. You know what I mean?
And it's not the right time and place for me to speak about tobacco use and pipes specifically, and my thoughts on that. Perhaps for another episode, Sam. But if you want to smoke a pipe. Just make sure you do your research first and you're well educated. And if not, then treat it as a metaphor, like Sam's just said.
Yeah.
Practice
Definitely.
the art of sitting still.
Yeah, well, that's lovely, Tommy. I enjoyed that, to be honest.
I'm glad it's warmed your cockles, my friend.
I hope that didn't sound too sarcastic, but no, genuinely, there is lots to think about on that, because I do imagine that the process from start to finish of sort of prepping a pipe will give you a lot of time to open your mind to thinking about whatever, really, or thinking about nothing. However you want to go about it, it's a nice little thing.
They call it they call pipe smoking the thinking man's hobby for a reason.
Yeah.
And as I said, it's obviously not something that's seen too often in modern society. But you look back through history, and a lot of the world's great leaders and critical thinkers, scientists, authors, they were all pipe smokers, Sam.
Yeah. As well as other drugs, but we won't mention that.
No. That's silly. But we'll leave it at that, Sam. So moving on, I think it's time to make our Contemplate commitment.
Yeah.
We've got to take the oath, make a stand. What's your power pledge, Sam? What you committing to in terms of Contemplate? Are you going to improve it? Are you going to implement it? Are you going to put it into your daily routine so you can thrive and become great?
Yeah, and I think for me, in my current living situation, in my current life situation, I do live on my own. I work on my own as well. So from the outside, you'd probably think this guy's got a lot of time to contemplate and sit and think and mull. But I don't really. Like we've said, my mind's always whizzing about, thinking about what I'm going to do next. I've always got a goal in mind, as you know. I think goals are very important. But definitely, I'm going to, take at least 5 to 10 minutes a day just to slow down. Just to slow down and think about. I will not even think about anything, to be honest. Just have a minute to maybe just sit in the garden, just look up at the sky. Something as simple as that. Incorporate a bit of grounding in that as well, which would be
Beautiful.
I think that's my plan anyway. Just set aside every distraction that I've got in my life, phone off, TV off, and just have 5 minutes of peace.
Yeah, brilliant, mate.
What about?
That sounds great. And sort of on that, sometimes it is just good. It's good to sit still and just let your mind wander and just be alone with your thoughts. You don't have to sort of consciously, all right, I need to think about this.
Yeah.
You can just let your mind wander and bounce around and think about different things. It's all contemplate. And I should add that you don't actually have to sit still. One of the best things for me, and it's how I contemplate is when I go for a walk.
Yeah.
I don't often get opportunity to walk on my own, but when I do, I go for a walk at lunchtime when I'm in the office. I go on my own. I have half an hour, no phone, no distractions, no computer screen, no one to speak to, and I just think, and I just let my mind wander, and I really appreciate that time. And for me, Sam, what my commitment's to be more consistent. So, especially for those who know me, Sam, and you're probably well aware of this. I am a very deep thinker. I'm probably guilty of thinking a little bit too much sometimes, and it can be a poison chalice at times. But you've got to find that balance, and I just want to make a commitment to being a little bit more consistent, to having a little bit of dedicated time in the morning to sit still for 5 minutes, think about the day ahead, what I want to achieve, how I'm going to thrive, how I'm going to implement all the other pillars, and then a little bit of time at the end of the day as well, just to practice a little bit of mindfulness, to slow down and reflect on the day that's passed and think. And I'd encourage everyone to do that. At the very least, the key takeaway from this episode for me would be, at the end of each day, think and consider, if you did not wake up in the morning, if you were to draw your last breath, if you were to pass away, to die, would you be satisfied that day was your last? Would you be happy with what you've achieved? And that links into everything, the connections that you've had. Did you have that quality time with your son, your daughter? Did you hold their hand? Did you play with them? Did you give them your time and attention? Did you have deep, meaningful connections with them? Or was you on your phone instead? Did you eat well? Did you eat like a king? Did you eat ribeye steak and raw milk and fruit? Or did you have a McDonald's that made you feel shite? Did you challenge yourself to be better? Did you push your limits? Did you try to be better and achieve something? Or did you just go through the motions and sit on the couch and watch Netflix again? And I'm getting deep here, Sam, but
That's good.
Think about that. Think about it. And I challenge everyone out there now, myself included, because I don't do it enough. Do that every single night. And if you're being brutally honest with yourself, I think more often than not you would not be satisfied if that was your last day. And if that doesn't want to kickstart you into changing, into being better, into joining this movement of growth together towards greatness, to thrive, then I've got to ask questions.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. And I just want to add, when thinking about what I'm going to pledge towards, what you said about the walking, and I thought there's literally walking meditation is a thing, and it is. You could call it what you want, really. To be honest, call it walking meditation, walking, contemplating. But I think for me, just that taking a walk and again, getting rid of all your distractions, leave your phone at home for half an hour, you won't miss it. But when you're walking, just be really focused on like the sensations of actually walking. Like feel your body moving, and just bring your mind to like your awareness of your body, and I don't know, I can't, it's hard to explain, but you will feel feelings that you've probably never felt before, and you'll just be so in tune with yourself.
I completely know what you mean, Sam, and it's a great point. That's something that I do. So I'm not going to obviously share too much on this, but on a Wednesday I go to the office and I work from the office. And I'm very fortunate the office is located in a beautiful place, and there's a bit of a park and behind it, and some lovely footpaths. And there's not often many people about, and it's quiet, it's scenic. And I walk around there on my dinner break, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm engaging all my senses. What can I smell? What can I see? The different, particularly this time of year when there's flowers in bloom and everything's green, and there's bees buzzing around, the birds are singing. And one thing that I've not mentioned actually, which is part of contemplation and how I implement it in my life, is I practice gratitude. And I try and do that in the morning, but I also do it when I'm out and about and I'm on a walk. And for me, you don't have to do this. You can just put it out there. You can just say that you're grateful for something. For me, I thank God, and I say I'm grateful to hear the birds singing. I'm grateful to see the flowers in bloom. I'm grateful for the fresh air that's in my lungs. And it's exactly what you've just said, Sam. That's why I knew exactly what you was getting at.
Yeah.
As I'm walking along, I'm thinking all these things, and it's amazing. It'll do wonders. It'll do wonders for you.
Yeah, good. And it's good to hear that you're actually practicing what you preach as well. You know, instead of just saying what we say, it's good to hear that you're doing it, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good.
So, moving on, Sam.
Yes, sir.
We've made our Contemplate commitment. It's time to probably quickly just do a progress report on the existing pledges that we've made.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, is it over to me, is it? Okay. I might as well just go first instead, Tommy, if that's all right.
Feel free, my friend. I'm looking forward to hearing what you've got to say.
Progress report, and I think we're basing this off the 5 or 4 previous pillars, including this one as well. We might as well. So as for diet, I'd say, or fuel and recovery, diet is very up and down for me, to be honest. I can't lie to you.
The curry verse was a stumbling block.
It was, but my God, it was worth it. And as you know, I'm very out. I'm always doing something. I'm always out and about doing stuff. I'm out on the road with work a lot, so diet just does fluctuate between a nice Greg's sausage roll every now and then, you know, in a Subway. But then when I'm at home, it will be all whole foods, and you know I preach about eggs, so I am the man with a lot of eggs. So on that, yeah, that's up and down, and it could be better.
I'm encouraging you here, Sam.
Please do.
I want you to be better prepared for the working day when you're on the road. It's easy, my friend.
I just need a good hiding, really.
Please, just boil your eggs up in advance and take them with you. Chop some cheese up. Take a load of fruit. It's all you need, brother.
I will.
Promise me.
I promise you now, to the millions listening, I'll do it.
Next week, I want you to tell me that entire working week, you've prepared your food ahead of time and you've taken it with you and you've not gone in for fast food or you've not gone into the shop and bought crap. Make that commitment now, Sam. Please. This is the only way we're going to grow.
I shall, mate. I'll do that for you. Just for you and the millions.
Not for me and the millions listening. For yourself, brother. Because it's the only way you're going to thrive and achieve greatness.
I know. But yeah, other than that, I've been connecting with friends and family. That only gets better, to be honest. I don't really dip with that because I do have that very accessible. So, you know, that's always going to be brilliant. Challenge, as I've said, I've done the triathlon. And I'm going to be doing another one in a few months. So that's always going to be a challenge. Every day is a challenge. Training never stops. Work-wise, that's always a one big challenge. But there you go. That's work. And then,
what about the reading, Sam? I think you mentioned that you was going to try and up the reading a little bit. I think that's something that you mentioned for challenge previously.
You've got a better memory than me, my friend, because I don't remember saying that. But
it's all up here, bro.
If I did, I'm still reading the same book as last time. To be honest, it's quite a long one, and I'm quite a slow reader as well. But the motions are.
There's absolutely no need to rush through a book. You've got to enjoy it and appreciate it, Sam. But I suppose the important question is: are you getting that time daily?
Oh yeah, because you know what, I do take books out on the road with me as well, and it's quite a good swap from the mobile phone. Absolutely. Instead of scrolling on Instagram, just get a book in your hand instead, because you're not missing anything, are you? By not being on social media.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's my report, mate. Over to you.
What about your play though? You've missed play.
Oh, of course, play. Well, that does link in nicely with. I think for me, definitely the triathlon. That's playing, being with friends, just having a laugh, having a beer. Yeah. That's honestly. The laughter is the main aim, isn't it? Because when you're laughing, you're happy, you're having fun. and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to
Excellent.
continue to do that.
Good. I'm pleased to hear it, mate. Overall, sounds like you're doing pretty well. It's just the
Diet.
It's just the sausage roll when you're on the road. And the digestive biscuits.
I've not had one since we last spoke. Honest, not touched it.
Praise the Lord. I've been praying for you, Sam. Your addiction with your biscuit addiction. No, that's good. Yeah. It's great. It's good to hear it, mate.
What are you saying, my friend?
Well, I'll not go into a great deal of detail, Sam, because I've already spoken about diet. Diet's been superb this week. Absolutely superb, and I'm feeling grand. I'm feeling as good as I have done in recent years, physically, mentally, off the back, and it's all diet. But one thing I will say, it's my birthday weekend, and the missus bought me a slice of my favourite cake. And I'm not going to lie, you know, I do occasionally indulge myself. I'm incredibly disciplined 99% of the time, but I do occasionally allow myself a treat.
I'll be having words with her, mate.
What I will say is I feel like absolute crap when I do eat something that's not good, because that seems to be how it works. You remove these things, this sort of process of elimination, and then when you do reintroduce them, you do tend to get a bit of an adverse reaction to them. That's just the way it is. I find myself feeling a little bit bloated. I find that I've got a little bit of inflammation in my joints the following day, depending on how silly I've gone. But I've not felt too bad today, to be honest, off the back of a slice of cake. But I'll hold my hands up and admit that's what happened. In terms of recovery, again, going from strength to strength, cold showers.
That's what I like to hear.
Cold showers. I've always been a fan of cold showers, but they just weren't. Just wasn't that consistency, really. Yeah. So that's that. The only thing that I'm not getting as much of at the moment, and I'm a huge fan of this. It's the grounding, because I just to sort of justify this to a certain extent, my entire back garden got ripped up because the levels needed correcting. And I needed some drainage installing, so my turf's been I've not had any turf down at all for a period of time, and it's just been relaid, and I can't go on it for 6 weeks while it sort of beds in. So that's been a bit of a blocker. I've been getting grounding by other ways and means, but I've not getting it as often as usual. Connect. I've really been conscious about one of the main barriers for me, which was my phone, and I've been having such quality time with my lad and incorporating play into that, and just having that time with him to be silly and play. You know, he's 18 months old, so you can imagine the things that he's up to. Yeah. But I've just I've just really been getting into it and enjoying it, and letting myself go, and I've had such good fun, and the connection's grown stronger with my son, which was amazing anyway. But it just feels so incredible at the moment. So that's great. And then in terms of challenge, I've just been keeping myself busy with a couple of projects at home, like I said last time. But I am thinking there's going to have to be a physical challenge on the horizon for me, Sam. You might have given me a little bit of inspiration there with the triathlon.
Good.
No, I'm not saying that I'm going to go out there and do a triathlon, but I'm thinking I'm going to have to set myself a little bit of a challenge. Whether that's to revisit some of my previous goals when I was in the gym and weightlifting, or whether it's actually going out there and participating in some type of event. I don't know yet, but watch this space. That's all I'm saying. And
one day he's going to be a teenager, and you're probably never going to see him because he's going to hate his parents.
No,
so you just got to make the most of it.
He'll not hate us, mate, because hopefully we're going to do a good job of bringing him up. There might be a bit of a rebellious streak in there, as there is for everyone, but he certainly won't hate us. But no, I should raise. The connection was absolutely amazing anyway. But I was really sort of self-aware of the barriers that were preventing it from being even better, and giving him everything that, you know, my full time and attention that he deserves.
Yeah.
So that's been amazing, and you'll be pleased to know, Sam, we actually we enjoyed a cold shower together earlier because it was so hot, and we'd actually just been for a walk, the two of us, while the missus had some time to herself. And we was up to all sorts, picking stones up and throwing them, and he was trying to touch slugs, and we observed some wildlife in the sun. We saw a weasel and a hare, which, you know, all the senses were engaged. But yeah, it was really hot, and we had quite a walk, so it was time for a cold shower when we got home, and I'm starting him young, mate.
That's perfect. It's what I love to hear. As long as you're not putting him in any danger, then we're all right, aren't we?
Oh no, I'm not throwing him in a lake in the bleak midwinter.
Good.
It's in a safe and controlled environment. Don't worry.
That's what I like to hear. So yeah. So just a word out to everyone out there. Really, like, hopefully you are listening to what we're saying, and you know, if you're following our advice in any way at all, just let us know. You know, hopefully it's making you think differently about your diet and your lifestyle, and if you are truly thriving, if you are happy, and you do feel fulfilled, and if you don't, then just do something about it. Make them small steps, and
yeah,
and we're all in this together. We really are. As men, as people, as humans, you know, we just want to be better people all round.
Absolutely, Sam. Couldn't have said it better myself, my friend. And before we sort of start wrapping up, I did have a couple of people reach out about Contemplate, Sam, because, you know, we said that it was the next episode, and we encourage people to get in touch and let us know what they think. And one of the listeners, close friend, got in touch and said that for him, Contemplate is when you have to make those big decisions in life, when you really need to think deeply about stuff, becoming a parent, becoming a father, buying a house, you know, going through educational studies, and having to explore as many different avenues as you can to get as much knowledge or understanding of whatever it is, so you can make a good decision. And he made a great point that comes from the Bible about we're called to sort of chew on it, and chew the cud, to be specific. That's what the kosher animals in the Old Testament were called to do. And we're sort of likened to them, that we're supposed to chew the message. We're not supposed to just read it once and forget about it, or think about it once and forget about it and make a split decision. We're supposed to chew on it over and over again, just like a ruminant animal would do on grass. So I thought that was a great point. He said that contemplating for him is chewing over things time and time again until you get the firm and clear understanding that allows you to make the correct decision. So I just thought I'd share that because someone took the time to reach out and tell us that's what contemplate means to them.
Yeah, that's nice. That is literally what it is, isn't it? You know, chewing over the fat, as we say.
Yeah, yeah.
Good. I like that.
So, as Sam's just said, you know, and I'd like to reiterate that, thank you very much for everyone who's listening in so far, to the millions and millions in Mongolia and across the globe.
Still there.
To those in the far reaches of the North Pole in Antarctica, to those in Buenos Aires and River Plate, across to the outback of the Ivory Coast and the Straits of Johor. Thanks for everyone listening in. It really does. It really does mean a lot to us, and we're humbled by your support, and we're excited about what we're going to achieve together on this journey as a community to make men great again. So yeah, please do reach out. As Sam has just said, we're all in this together, so get in touch, give us your feedback on the episodes that you've listened to. Let us know what you want to speak about going forward. Tell us how you've implemented these pillars into your life and how they're affecting you, hopefully, in a positive way. So, reach out. You can reach us via email at thrivetalkingpodcast@gmail.com, and you can also hit us up on Instagram. And the Instagram is at Thrive Talking, and links to those and the full addresses are in the bio there. As always, please leave us a review as well. Follow us on Spotify, YouTube, subscribe, leave us a comment. It all helps us grow this community and reach more men.
Certainly does.
So next week episode, Sam. Now we've said today's been the final piece in the puzzle. We've covered the thriving 5 pillars, and it'd be great to get feedback from the brethren. But next week we're going to be addressing our mission statement as a movement. We're going to be looking at our visions and values. We're going to do a little bit of a recap for those who are listening in for the first time. But yeah, we're just going to talk about what we're doing and why we're doing it in a little bit more detail, because we've grown and evolved since the first episode, since the introduction, and we only sort of skim the surface. There's a lot to talk about. I think it's going to be quite an intense episode, but hopefully it'll be good fun, and it'll really resonate with the listeners. So I'm looking forward to that one, Sam.
Yeah, should be a good one, that, actually, because we've spoke about very specific things over the past 5 weeks, haven't we? So it'd be good to get into why are we actually doing this?
Yeah,
which a good thing to say.
I think it's also going to be a good opportunity to share with the listeners, Sam, what our plans for the future are, because we've got some ideas, we've got some plans that we're excited, very much in the early stages, but we're excited to share them with the audience, and it'll be good to see how they respond to that and what the thoughts are. So, Sam, a couple of final things before we wrap up. It's one of the favourite segments of the show, Room 101. What are we getting rid of today?
Here it is, Room 101. As always, vapes are going in there, but that's good point, actually. Because I keep putting sort of mindsets in normally, and it's tricky to think of an actual physical object to put in, specifically for contemplating. I'll let you go first. Go on.
Okay, Sam. So I'm going to be controversial today.
Yeah, we like that.
I'm putting. I want to make sure I'm using the right terminology here. I'm putting vehicular transport in. There you have it.
I didn't expect that. Wow.
There you have it.
Just all transport?
Vehicular transport.
It's going in.
So,
right.
Cars, just to be clear. Cars. I'm getting at cars and motorbikes here more than anything. Anything on wheels.
What? Really? What? You're going to have to explain that briefly.
Obviously, I'm being a little bit tongue-in-cheek here with this.
Just a bit.
But I think that everyone should be riding horses again. I think we was in a far better place as a society, as a nation, as a global population when people were on horseback or camelback for those in the Middle East.
Can you get on board with bicycles then? Is that all right?
All right. I'm on board with bicycles, yeah. And if it, I suppose automobiles might have been a better way of putting it. And the reason being, Sam, and of course, as I said, this is all tongue-in-cheek and it's a little bit silly and a little bit fun.
No, it's not. This is actually going to be eradicated off the earth, so be careful what you say.
Well, if it is, I'm happy, mate. I'll happily tie my horse up outside of office, outside of the saloon. I would probably be happier if we didn't have that luxury, as silly as that might sound. But the reason being is because we've already spoke about it, Sam. Everyone's in such a rush. Everyone's racing around like idiots. Quite often putting other people in danger through the sheer ignorance. And what are they in a rush for? And what I should get at really is I think it's a huge barrier to men slowing down. The fact that they're in such a rush, and I couldn't put people being in a rush or being impatient in, or perhaps I could have, but I quite like the idea of being extreme and putting vehicular transport in. So yeah, I'm putting cars in because if cars and motorbikes aren't in, people are going to stop rushing around as much.
Yeah.
They're not going to be racing around like idiots. They're going to have to slow down. They're going to have to think a little bit more. So there you have it, Sam.
I concur with that. I do. But I'm going to put in... Have we already put in mobile phones?
I think it's been up there with vapes, hasn't it? As going in pretty much every week. I don't know.
I just feel like if we haven't, then it's going in. It's going in.
What we're going to have to do? We're going to have to get like a piggy bank or like a jar, whether it's at your house or mine, and we'll actually write it down and just pop it in each week.
Yeah.
Maybe a virtual cookie jar.
Yeah, we can do that, can't we?
Everything that we've got rid of, and then we can sort of launch a manifesto at some point. Maybe 100 episodes in, we'll reflect on what we've got rid of and what the world would look like without those things. That could be good fun, actually.
That'll be good, yeah. I like that. But yeah, I'm going with mobile phones if I haven't already put it in, but it's going in again. It can go in twice because it's very important. And
reason being?
Well, I think we already know why. Distraction. Just making people lazy. Taking quality time away from people spending time together. The bad health benefits what come with the blue light from the mobile phones.
And specifically, how's it impacting on people's ability to contemplate?
You said it there straight away. It's the distraction, isn't it? Yeah. Straight away.
Yeah.
It's just it is the ultimate distraction. Let's be honest. It's an addiction.
It absolutely is. I made a little note actually that I didn't mention before we recorded this episode, and it was that why men are getting it wrong. And one of the things I wrote down was that any sort of time that they do have where they could potentially slow down, they're accompanied by the phone.
Yeah.
And the temptations there, the distractions there. The habit of picking it up and opening it up and scrolling, they will not be able to resist that temptation. So you mentioned, I think you and I both mentioned it somewhere, you have that time without the phone, you don't physically take it with you.
Yeah.
You put yourself in a place where that distraction is not there.
And sometimes, even if you can put it on aeroplane mode just for a little bit, if you're so desperate for it to be in your pocket, At least no one can contact you, and you're not thinking that you can't access any social media. So that's what's going in for this week, mate.
Good man. We're putting the world to rights.
Oh yes, bit by bit.
So before we finish, Sam, nuggets of wisdom, another new segment that's people have been enjoying over the past couple of episodes. So would you like to go first, sir? Because we've taken to providing a little nugget each, just to leave the brethren with him and help them ponder.
Yes, I've got one here, which is brilliant. It's by someone called Eckhart Tolle. Don't know who that is, but do your research. So this is quite simple. It just says, "Be where you are, otherwise you will miss your life."
Beautiful.
Be where you
Simple
are,
as that.
Otherwise you will miss your life. How easy is that?
I like that, Sam.
There
I
you
really
go.
like it.
Have it tattooed somewhere.
That's beautiful. No, it really is so simple, but that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's hard to put it into better words than that, isn't it? Really,
yeah.
It's exactly what we've been talking about today.
Yeah, it's so simple. This, isn't it? Like, again, I keep saying it over and over again. We're preaching common sense at this point now.
Absolutely.
Get off your phone. Stop distracting yourself with nonsense and be where you are, because suddenly your life will be over, and then that is it.
So
over to you.
Really enjoyed that, Sam. Thank you for sharing. For me, this one comes from a fine gentleman that I've already mentioned on today's podcast. Long dead, but it's the great Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor Marcus Aurelius. And I really like this one. He's got a number of amazing quotes, but I particularly like this one. And it links in nicely with Contemplate. So he says, "You have power over your mind, not over outside events. Realise this, and you will find strength."
I like that. It's that notion where you can't control what other people do, can you? You can only control yourself and how you react to things and what you do in certain situations. But yeah, it's brilliant.
I'll tell you what, how that's had a major impact in my life, Sam, is, and I suppose in short it's saying don't worry about things that aren't within your control. And a big thing that's impacted on me is, one, coming off social media, and two, not watching the news, not reading the news, not having any of that negative sort of content that's going to cause stress and anxiety and worry. Because do you have any control over anything that's going on in the world other than in your own home?
No.
So why worry about it? Why let it cause you stress, anxiety, fear? And I think that quote from Marcus Aurelius perfectly sums it up.
Yeah. The news, as you know, is just it's very negative, and it can depress a lot of people, and you just got to use your own mind and be at one with what's around you more than concentrating on the world events.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Now, final word, contemplate. Key takeaway, Sam. Quick fire answer.
Yes, like I said with that quote, be where you are, enjoy the moment, live in the moment, meditate. If you can meditate, please do. Use your breath as a tool, as a powerful tool to think on things and calm yourself down, reduce the stress, and just please be in the moment and try to just do that. Go. Your turn.
Couple of very quick things. Am I on an egg timer?
Yeah.
Or,
You've got 10 seconds.
Right. Few quick things from me, Sam. 1, practice gratitude.
Yes.
Speak it out loud, write it down. 2, every night before you go to sleep, just think about the day that's gone before you. Would you be happy if you died? 3, try praying. Put it out there to an higher being.
Yeah, why not? It's not for everyone, but it's worth a go, isn't it? Smashing. There we go, guys. Thanks again. So, you've been listening to Thrive Talking, the Making Men Great Again podcast. And until next time, we will see you on the next one. Good night.
Good night. God bless.
Bye.